Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to change things up. We're going to be talking about fire management on that bad boy right there. Let's get started. Okay guys, full disclosure, we have already started the pit. We've got some fire going on in there already. We got some coals. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some wood. And while adding the wood, I want to show you, I've kind of gone ahead and I cleaned everything out right here. So we got, that's the last log that was in there. You can see that there is still some good hot coal in there. Now what I want to show you guys today is what we're going to do is something a little bit different. We're going to do a triangle, okay? I like the triangle method a little bit better. You just kind of go like this. You keep all your hot coals towards the center. As you're doing that, right, you keep your coals towards the center. That's going to be able to allow all that heat to go right through that triangle in the center. So that's what we want to do with this. Okay, so now this is some pecan bark. I just showed you what that coal looks like up there. If you want to take a couple of these pieces, by all means you can. You can grab just a couple of these small little pieces right here. We'll go ahead and add them right in there like that in the center. That'll help give a little bit of aid to that coal that's underneath that wood that we just put. That bark will start to catch. You can already see it starting to light up. That's perfect. Now we can go ahead and grab our bigger pieces of wood and make that triangle I was telling you. Okay, as you can see, our bark is starting to go. Looks really good and healthy. We're gonna let that sit there. Now what I wanna do is I'm gonna put this one right on top, just like that. You can already see, obviously, that's gonna be one side of it there. We're gonna grab another one. We're gonna cross it right here. All right, so now you've got one going down, one right over here. And the last one, which is a small piece, we're gonna go ahead and just put it right there. So there you have it, right? It makes a nice little triangle. And as you can see, we have our fire right here in the middle where we added that bark. That's gonna allow that to catch right there in the center really. Okay, now that we've got our wood in there, we're gonna go ahead and close this. To make sure our firebox is nice and closed, we'll come down here, take a look at that. It's already starting to take off. It looks beautiful in there. We're looking really good. What I wanna go ahead and do is I wanna shut this. All right, I don't want that much oxygen in there. We want to make sure we're closed there, and we'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, as you can see, I had to open up the firebox. It got a little too hot, and those were thin pieces of wood that I used. So we'll have to reevaluate the size of the wood that we're gonna put in there. But I think what's helping us right now is the wind. The direction of the wind, the way it's coming, it's actually hitting that firebox straight on right in there. That's why I also went ahead and I closed that. The wind is still going right in there, and it's creating a lot of oxygen for that firebox, and it's really getting that flame going. So I think that'll help it by closing the door right there. And let's see how it goes. Right now it's still too hot, but it's keeping our grill nice and hot either way, even with the fire pit open the way it is. So let's just keep an eye on it. Let's see where it goes. All right, I think in our last video, we kind of talked about this a little bit. Down here, we're still good. Plenty of oxygen getting down to the bottom. Remember, the oxygen, or I shouldn't say oxygen, the wind, which is carrying oxygen to our fire, is going perfectly in here. I'm not saying it's windy day today. It's a beautiful day, actually. But the way the wind is hitting this grill, it's just a perfect amount. It's keeping everything nice and healthy. We're getting plenty of oxygen. You can see that fire is really looking good. Okay, so in case I didn't tell you guys, I do have 2 briskets in there, but they're not full briskets. I actually have half briskets and the flats are in there. So they're gonna cook a lot faster than a full brisket anyway. Anyway, I got them in there. They've been in there for 2 hours now. They're going really slow. They're looking really good. I'll show you what they look like here in just a second. But I just wanted to remind you guys, depending on the size of the briskets, right? If you're cooking a full brisket, right? And I'm gonna have to go through that one of these days. We'll do a video on that. But if you're cooking a full brisket, you also have to maintain your fire at a certain temperature, okay? You got a lot more to cook, which means it's gonna be a longer time, not necessarily more heat. So there's a difference. You don't want more heat. If you're gonna smoke them and you want them to be nice, tender, and juicy, it's just gonna take a little bit longer time. Okay, so we're holding really good temperature here. We're at about 225 degrees. Remember, when we're smoking things 200, 250, we want to keep it right around there. We're perfectly centered right now. Let's take a look at these briskets. Remember, they are not full briskets. Look at that, guys. I mean, does it get any better than that? I cannot wait. So my wife and I were talking today about what we wanted to make. We decided brisket tacos were the way to go, and here they are. And I'll show you what those look like once we get them out and we get them on a plate. Beautiful. All right, guys, remember that this is a constant thing, right? That's what is so fun about this. We're gonna keep an eye on everything, make sure everything's still going good. I noticed that, well, it started dying down a little bit, and that's okay. You can see here, we still got really good coals. We're gonna move that around a little bit, just keep that nice and hot there, okay? Now that we got everything centered up, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more wood. We're going to do the same thing. This time we're not going to do a complete triangle. I got a little bit bigger logs over here. The smaller ones I no longer have, so we're just going to make a nice little A like that here. Our wind is going to come through here and it'll just fire everything up. Now I'm sure you can tell these are a little bit bigger. So that's why I'm only gonna put 2. We got our fire nice and center there, our coals, and this should take off shortly. Again, let's keep an eye on it and see how it does. All right, guys, so I think one of the biggest things that I've learned since I've been doing this, which hasn't been that long, but one of the biggest things that I've learned is don't fight the wind. Don't fight the way the wind is coming. Hey, if it's coming from a certain direction and it's gonna hit your firebox a certain way, turn your grill. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt every once in a while, and you'd be surprised how many people would say, hey, I can't get the fire going right, I can't get it to stay lit, or it's too hot, or things of that sort. You'd be surprised. Sometimes you just gotta move your grill a little bit, and that's all you actually needed, just to get a little bit better flow going in there. It makes absolutely no sense if the wind's coming from that side over there in that direction, and it's hitting the side where your stack is, and over here on your box, you got no wind coming because it's all coming in this direction. It makes no sense. So anyway, it's one of those things, again, when it comes to these grills, you gotta look out for things like that. You gotta maintain awareness of what's going on in your surroundings, including the wind. It's just one of those things, right? You need wind in order to get that fire going. So in my case today, I had a little too much air going into that box. It made it a little too hot. I had to close a couple of things, try to get that temperature down. We don't want to burn the brisket, but I'm excited because, like I showed you earlier today, it is still looking good. I think I got the temperature up to about 250. That was a little too hot, right? But we slowed it down. We got it back to normal temperature where we want it, and everything's looking good. One thing that I can already see is right here. I want to grab some of this, get it out of the way. Why? Well, because we want our fire to breathe. That's where the air is coming in, is right there. So I'm gonna get this out of the way. That way the air can go right in there. We might even move this a little bit higher right there. There we go. Give that an opportunity to breathe a little bit better, get more oxygen in there, make our fire a little richer. I like it. Let's keep going. All right, not sure how well you can see the fire, but it's looking really good. We're getting that little breeze coming in from the east side, and it's going right into the pit. It's looking really good. It's keeping the fire nice and healthy, and it's helping us not use so much wood. So I'm gonna check the temperature on them. If they're a little over 120, I'd say about 120, I'll go ahead and get them out, wrap them up, and put them back on the grill for the remainder of the time. Let's go check them out. Right here, we're not getting very good fire. If anything, it's more of a smoke coming right here. And this as well, we don't have a whole lot of fire here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a log right across right here and try to get this back up, fired up, get some good heat going in there. We're gonna get something small, nothing crazy. And go ahead and put it right there. Just like that. And as an added bonus, just to try to help get the fire going, we'll put this piece of bark right in there like that. And we'll watch it take off here shortly. All right, guys, so we are officially 3 hours into smoking these briskets, and before I end the video or move forward to showing you what it looks like when it's all said and done, I wanted to just cover a couple things that we slightly talked about earlier today. So one of the biggest things that I think that I learned, and I hope you guys got to learn a little bit about, was making sure that you've got the direction in your favor, right? Wind direction going in your favor is going to help you so much. That's the best thing you can do instead of fighting against the wind. Make sure that you guys, before you start your grill up, you're facing the right direction so you're getting plenty of oxygen to go inside your box. The other thing that we kind of talked about a little bit, and I don't think we covered it much on this video, but I've talked about it in the past video with the ribs. Make sure that you have a good clean surface right there, and there's nothing impeding your oxygen getting down to the bottom of the wood. That's going to be important, making sure it stays healthy. We also talked about using that triangle pattern inside. We started out with the triangle, it got really hot. I went with the A pattern, if you will. So that way the oxygen, as it's going in, it gets in between both logs, and then we can get some really good oxygen in there with that and get some really good heat. We did go ahead and we put one piece of wood, so now it looks like a triangle inside of there. But the reason I did that was to help out the fire. I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually going a lot better now. It's a little healthier. So I think that'll probably be the end of the fire. We're gonna let that one go the rest of the way and we'll be done. I'm gonna check the briskets one more time. Okay guys, so we just talked about it. Our temperature's looking good. It's about 250, more or less, but it's been good. 250 is okay, I'm not too worried about it. They are protected here. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna check the internal temperature. We'll get our handy dandy little temperature probe. Let's go ahead and put it in this one here. Oh yeah, 174, oh that's ready. This is ready. Oh man, it's nice and tender inside too. That is 169. I would say these are more than ready. We need to get them off the grill. They are done. Now they can rest. Other than that, I think we've covered pretty much everything. It's very simple, basic things that we discussed. nothing crazy. Just come out here and enjoy your time. This is not work. This is you enjoying your time outside on a beautiful day like today. And yeah, just hanging out, watching your kids, have good conversations. We'll talk to you later.